All right, for part 5, we're just going to be preparing this pan to get the body put on. This pan was given to me. It's a 67 pan, but it had a 66 Baja body on it, which I'll show you some pictures there. My friend used the body to put on the IRS, and I got the pan. And I had it sitting around, had another body on it. I was going to make a Baja, but I just came across this other great deal on a 67 body, and I decided to use it. So this thing had an MP off-road shifter put into it, and it was just a mess. The guy bought it from his neighbor, and he drove it home, and it made a little noise, and then he couldn't get it up the driveway because it couldn't go into gear. But he had problems with the clutch cable tube and the shifter. So, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and use this on something else. All right. Excuse the construction noise going on next door. All right, roll the pan out, take a better look at it. It's pretty solid. I've got, like I said, most everything I need. I know I got a set of shocks all the way around. I'm sure the back has brakes. I got to take a look at that. There's nothing in the front. I have a master cylinder, brake lines, all that. We'll get the tunnel figured out as soon as we get the shift coupler. And we will get ready to get this thing going. All right, for now we're just going to roll it into the shop. And we've got to actually fix the clutch tube. So on the other side here, our first goal is to cut an inspection hole in here so we can get in there and weld that tube. Wish I can get through it from this side. Look who is excited to be here. All right, anyways, here we go with doing the pan. All right, I just went to town with my angle grinder. This one's going on the Fritz. Just cut this piece. Actually, I shortened this piece down to where it's more manageable. Had to bang on the sides to make it fit a little bit so I could get a sizing for it. And this is the piece I've cut out. Now all I'm gonna do is match these two together, and then we'll go ahead and make it fit snug and just right. We'll hold it together with a couple of self-tappers, and then we'll tack it in here. All right, the next thing I'm working on is making an inspection hole in here because I have to weld the front of the clutch tube. So I've marked off about a 4x4 square, and I've drilled a hole in each corner, and I'm gonna get it into my angle grinder and try my best to clean it up, cut it square and nice. Stay tuned. All right. Okay, somehow I burned up 2 angle grinders, but I was able to make a cut. And that should be able to get in there. All right, now I gotta switch blades again and put on my grinding wheel so I can clean this up a bit. Normally I have a different wheel on each angle grinder, but they're all burning up for some reason. Must have been a rough summer. All right, now that I've got a hole cut out, we're gonna try and, it's hard to see that tube that has to be reconnected. Fortunately, someone has cut the tunnel, so not a lot of glare. This tube is what's loose, you see? And then there's a little spot right there with a divot that it has to sit in so you can tack it back into place. Even with an inspection hole and through the other side, it's kind of hard to line up. So what I'm able to do is I'll be able to clamp this into place so it's not going anywhere. And I might be able to reach the welding tip in there as well as inside there. And we'll see if we can get it to all line up. Searched around looking for spare parts, and I wound up getting complete pedal assembly in. Had a roller pedal laying around. I even had a brand spanking new master cylinder, which is cool. Had some brake hoses, some brake lines. I left this one unhooked because I want to blow air through it. Back here, this was all hooked up. You can see I got shocks if I want to put them in. But all of this was here, not tampered with. So I'm just going to bust the lines loose and blow them out and make sure they're unclogged. And we're going to take the drums off tomorrow and figure out what's going on with the brakes. There's brakes in it, wheel cylinders, everything. So who knows what we're going to need to do. Did a little patch panel back here. I still got to trim it up, and I've just got it set in with self-tapping screws. The tube has been welded back into place, and I just ordered a piece of metal to cover up right there, and we'll be good to go. Just waiting on some parts. Seat tracks are coming in. I needed this pin for the push rod, that's coming in, and a shift coupler, with it, as well as a clutch cable. And supposedly we're going to be able to put the clutch cable through there without taking the pedal assembly apart. All right, we'll be back on this one tomorrow. Oh, look, the dogs came out. All right, not much went on today. Just kind of getting the brakes dialed in, getting all the hoses hooked up, took the drums off just to inspect what was going on. Doesn't look the prettiest, but again, I don't know what the story is on the tranny, so if I can get it to hold fluid so I can move this thing around, I'll be happy. Still waiting on parts. It's been a little while unclogging the gas line. Just ran a cable through there and a bunch of PB blaster and the compressor and got it blown out. Everything else is ready to go, waiting for brake light switches, waiting for parts. That's what it's all about anymore. Waiting on parts. Here's a shot of the inside. You can see the clutch cable action. And it was a lot easier to slip it through there and get it on the hook. Cut a little piece of aluminum to fit right there. And then I'll go ahead and paint it all up black once I get the seat tracks welded in. All right, and here it is with the inspection plate bolted into place. And we are good to go. Still waiting on a couple parts, like this pin. I didn't have a spare one. But we've got a clutch pedal. We've even got shifter. So what I did here is to get everything lined up with a shift coupler. Got everything lined up to exactly where it's going to sit. Put in a couple of big fat self-tappers. And now it seems like this part's going anyways. All right, so all I'm going to have to do here is trim this off to where it needs to sit and weld it back together. All right, so next up, I'm going to do a little bit of rust treatment here. I'm waiting on the seat track that's going to be coming in, and that just has to be tacked into place. And I'm going to get the rest of this pan painted up, and hopefully within the next couple of days, we'll get the body put back on the pan and move on to the next one. All right, pan is ready to roll. I'm not going to really worry about painting up the front suspension or anything, but got everything working. Shifter's working awesome. The plate's going to do fine. Brakes are going to work. Not worried about that. They're a little crunchy right now in the roll because I didn't redo them or anything, and some leaves or something in that front drum. But either way, we're going to go ahead. We have a couple of motors sitting over here. I know this one is ready to roll. It's going to have to put a clutch in it, and once the body is back on the pan, we'll get the motor in it. So that'll be the next step. All right, that's it on this one. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Ciao.